Chloe's being awfully quiet today. You can't even say nothing. Am I supposed to talk? Oh, okay. Welcome to week 2 of the Wax Slinger's Guide to Leadership. You are brought to yourselves today by 6 amazing leaders who are going to guide you on your journey of week 2. Each of us have a very specific topic to share with you, and I have the joy of going first. So, I get to talk to you guys today about conflict resolution. This has been something that I have really had to work on in my past, not only in Sensei World, but in real life too. Conflict is something that is going to happen to all of us, and nobody ever teaches you how to deal with it. A lot of the times you ignore it, and it festers into a bigger issue than is needed. So on my way home, I quickly Googled some of the things, and then it kind of rejogged my memory. In leadership, now that you're a leader, there is people that are going to look up to you, and let's face it, not everybody's going to like you. That's just part of the job, and that's okay. That's totally okay that not everybody likes you, and you know, sometimes you might take it to heart, and it might hurt your feelings, and there's ways to get around that. But the one thing I want you to realize and remember when you're dealing with conflict with your teams or other leaders even, that you guys need to respect each other. There's been people on my team that we haven't always gotten along, and that was fine. But at the end of the day, we're a team, and we need to work together, and we need to be there and respect each other because there's no reason for the disrespect. Another thing that I want you guys to think about is when you are resolving your conflicts, that you guys really need to figure out if it's worth it. You need to pick your battles because, let's face it, it's not healthy to argue about every little thing and nitpick. Some of it's even not worth addressing. So pick your battles and realize that is this something that you really want to discuss? Is it worth it? If it is worth it, then you need to move forward and you need to deal with this individual or group of individuals one at a time and figure out the issue. Let them know that there is an issue because you know what? Sometimes they don't know. I remember there was a time that I had with a girlfriend, and we were just ignoring each other. We didn't know why, and we both thought that we were mad at each other. And finally, one of us called each other, and we were like, "Hey, dude, what's up?" And she's like, "Nothing. What's up with you? I thought you were mad at me." I'm like, "I thought you were mad at me." There wasn't even a problem. So I mean, all it takes is a conversation to figure out what the hell the problem is. So when you are dealing with these issues too, you need to make sure that you're telling this person how you feel. Keep your statements I. This is how I feel. This is why I feel this way. Not you did this and you did this. Well, you're not returning my phone call, and you've been hanging out with somebody else all the time, and you don't call me. It's not about that. It's I, and this is how I feel. Because how are you going to resolve these feelings if you don't address them? They're just going to get swept under the rug, and then there's going to be another issue that comes along, and they're going to turn into a snowball. And then eventually, one of you guys is going to explode, and you can ruin teams over this, and you can ruin friendships over this. So it's best to address each situation as it comes. This person also may have an issue with you, so it's really important for you to listen to what they have to say. And after they tell you what you have to say, maybe repeat it back so that you really understand, because sometimes when we're being told something, we don't really understand what's being said. So if you say, you know, this is what I'm understanding, this is what I'm getting from what you're telling me, then you guys can move forward and figure out how you're going to resolve it. In the meantime, when you guys are having your conversation, it's really important to control your actions and your behaviors because your nonverbal communication is everything. If it's on the phone, you're pretty good, but you should try to keep not really an angry voice, you know, kind of a monotone voice, because that can go not as well either. Text message, absolutely not. Do not resolve anything through text message, email, Facebook. You need to have a conversation with these people. Just be aware, be respectful, be courteous of their feelings. I'm going to share with you an issue that I had with a director on my team. We just couldn't get it together. We just couldn't get it together. And then finally, you know, what changed here is we didn't talk. Everything just kind of festered, and we'd hear little whispers around the corner. And it came to a convention this year. And I made a gift for every single one of my directors, and I thought about it, and I really didn't want to give her a gift because of the animosity that we were feeling. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to let what's going on change how I feel about my team. And you know what? I'm doing this for everybody else on my team. I'm going to do it for her too, because I'm not going to change who I am. And when I seen her again, and she could be watching this video, I gave her the same gift that I gave all the other directors. And I was happy to give it to her because, you know what? She worked hard. She worked her butt off this year to get to director. And I thought about, what if I didn't give it to her? You know, how would that make her feel? And you don't ever want to make anybody feel left out, or why didn't she get one? You know, so I didn't want to deal with that. So I gave it to her, and she gave me a hug, and we moved past that. What we were arguing about was not irrelevant anymore. So it was, you know, did we want to keep this going, or do we want to move forward? So it's important for you guys to live in the present. It's not important to live in the past because there's nothing there anymore. Don't turn around and look back. You know what? Yeah, it happened, and yeah, you know what? We didn't get along, but you know what? Now we're team members, we're leaders, and people look up to us, and they're always watching us. So, you know, it's moving forward, and we're hand in hand, and we're leading a team together, and now we get along. So now we can pick up the phone, and we can share ideas and move forward together leading this tribe, versus trying to kill each other and throwing darts at each other. And I mean, what is that really going to solve? It's not going to solve anything. So it was really, you know, learning to let things go and move forward. I'm going through some notes I jotted down real quick. That's about it. That's all I have to share. So now we get to look forward to the rest of these amazing leaders and what they have to share with you. And who's next?
Me, I'm up. So today I want to talk to you guys about working through highs and lows in your business and in your life. Sometimes there are really junky things that happen in your life, like maybe a death in the family, or maybe you or your husband lose your job. There's all kinds of things that happen. It's just a natural progression of life. And then there's some times where it's really awesome. You've earned a trip, so you're going to be gone for a week, or you get to go away for a vacation with your family, or you know, like we go on trips a lot with Scentsy as leaders. We have leadership, we have the incentive trip. Sometimes we go on family vacations just to kind of get away. And there's all kinds of different ways that you can kind of navigate through your business to help you get through those times. I want to talk about lows first, so that we can end on a high note. Because I've had a lot of low times in my life, and I've kind of, and it's during the time when I've been running my business, and I feel like just looking back on them, I feel like I handled them fairly well. So just kind of wanted to share with you guys what happened. About, I guess it was 3 years ago this month. Wow, that's crazy. My mom was diagnosed with colon cancer. It was really unexpected. She basically passed out one day at the house, and my dad rushed her to the emergency room, and she was in really severe abdominal pain, and they thought it was her appendix, but when they did some tests, they saw a baseball-sized mass in her colon. Had no signs or symptoms of this, just one day, kind of everything fell apart. And I was home, like obviously with the kids, and my husband's grandmother was also passing away at the same time. She was on hospice. We were just kind of waiting for things to, you know, for her to go meet Jesus, basically. And I had also just found out that I was newly pregnant with Callahan. Callahan's pregnancy was very unexpected. We had gotten pregnant a few months before, had a miscarriage, and then while I was going through my testing, right after my miscarriage, found out I was pregnant with Callahan. So I was a hormonal disaster. Was trying to run a team. I, you know, was saying goodbye to Scott's Nana, who was a huge part of my life, and then my mom all of a sudden was diagnosed with cancer. I mean, this was just an explosion of just trifecta of junk. And I had to just pick up and leave town. I was gone for about 3 weeks, and you know, sat with my mom in the hospital. Didn't know really what was going to happen. I was really sick with Callahan, and it would have been really, really easy at that moment to just give up and be done with my business, with just anything in general. I was just kind of a disaster, just to be perfectly honest. But I also knew that I had to get a paycheck that next month. I had to pay for my kids to go to preschool. I had to keep things going because I knew that at some point when things leveled out, I was going to have to come back to reality, and I had to find some sort of normalcy. And so I also kind of craved that just stability, and Scentsi's always kind of been that for me. Whether, you know, I was in school full time or pregnant or whatever it was, Scentsy has been my constant kind of, and it's been something that when I work and when I do parties or focus on my team, whatever it is, I'm able to like have that be kind of where what levels things out for me. And so when I was in North Carolina with my mom, I just was really honest with my customers. I was like, look, my mom is really, really sick. If you ordered from me, I'm so sorry, your order's sitting at my house. I can have my husband get it all together for you, or whenever I get back, I can bring it to you. They were all super understanding of everything that was going on, and they also wanted to support me. I think I finally would just, after being in North Carolina for a few days, was like, I still have to come home and pick back up where I left off. And so I basically kind of did a challenge where I said I needed 25 people to buy a 6-pack of wax while I was gone. I did. I still needed to work. I still craved that, you know, normal aspect of my life, even though everything seemed like it was falling apart. And I was there, like I said, 3 weeks, and I happened to be there at the end of September. And I had friends and family, you know, take baskets or do online parties for me without me even having to really ask them, because they wanted to support me and they wanted to be there for me when I was going through a rough time. And I actually ended up hitting director that month. I woke up on October 1st, had no clue. My director called me sobbing because I had hit director. I didn't even know. And it just was a really sweet kind of ending to a really tough time in my life. And, you know, there's been other times too where things just get sticky, and I've realized that I need Scentsy to kind of be that normal for me. And so I just kind of wanted to encourage you guys that even though you might be going through low times in your life, don't automatically let Scentsy be the first thing that you let slide, because that might just be the thing that you need to help you kind of roll through the waves of junk that kind of comes with being human. So we also can talk about some highs. When we're on our incentive trips, we all make sure that we have our employees, our basket parties out for us. So you kind of have to just plan ahead. You have to say, okay, I'm going to be gone for a week. Last summer I was gone for 2 straight weeks. And so I said I have 8 basket parties. I need 8 people to take a basket party for me, because I still have to be working even though I'm not here. That's the beauty of this business. We've been reading Beach Money. That's what it's all about, working when you're not. So one of my favorite hashtags to use is work hard, play harder, because that's the beauty of this business, is that even when we're not here, maybe our butt's on a beach somewhere or on a cruise ship or in Africa next year, we can still be working even though we're not actually working. And so it just kind of takes some planning when you are having those unexpected times or planned out times when you're out of town and can't really be sitting at your desk working your business. And then there's also times when you might be having a low time in your life and you need help from your customers and hosts and team members. And so don't ever be too proud to ask for help, because I think that's something that I've learned over the course of this business, is that when you tell people you have a goal you want to meet, and when you tell people that you're really kind of struggling and either need a party to have a girls' night, or you need someone to take baskets out because you're not home because you're in the hospital or you just had a baby, whatever. There's all kinds of different ways to plan for highs and lows and to make the most of kind of sticky situations. So that's all I have for you today, and Amber is up.
Aloha, everyone. I hope you guys had a fabulous week, and hopefully you guys have read chapter 1 through 5 in the book. This week is chapter 6 through 10, so make sure you get on that. So just a quick thing, I'm going to make this short, simple, and sweet for you guys, just because what my topic is today, it's really not that complex. It's really simple, and sometimes I feel like in this business we tend to overcomplicate things. I know I used to do that, especially when I moved from Minnesota 10,000 miles away in the middle of the ocean on a little island. So my topic today is to talk to you guys about what do you do, and this doesn't necessarily apply for people who move to a different location or specifically military people because I'm military, but what do you do when you are moving to a new location, moving to a different country? Sometimes that's not too far-fetched if you're in the military, or even when you've exhausted all of your family and friends, because let's be real, we can only hit up the same circle of friends and the same aunt and uncle and grandma and mom and dad so many times. I mean, some of these people have a wax stash that is bigger than mine, and I'm like, all right, this just means that y'all ain't warming your bars enough. And so that's besides the point, but it's like, what do you do? Like, how do we get sales outside of that, right? Like, how do we move beyond that? And so there's really three like main things that I really want to talk to you guys about that will help you bypass or kind of get past that threshold. And one of the main things for me, so just a little backstory, I know I told you guys about myself in the group, but okay, so I'm originally from Minnesota. My husband took an assignment in the military in Hawaii. I absolutely knew zero people when I got here. Like, zip, zilch, nada. I didn't have, like, I couldn't tell you who anybody was, where anybody was, none of that stuff. So what ended up happening is I'm like, okay, I need to think ahead before I get there and figure out how I'm going to start networking with people, how I'm going to get people on my team, how I'm going to build a customer base out there. How am I going to do this? So what I started to do is I'm probably in 5 million Facebook groups online. Like, I just am. I can't even keep up. I don't even know whether I'm coming or going. But I targeted 5 things that I was interested in. One thing was Military Wives page. I mean, if you are a military wife, you will know, like, there is 1,000 wives pages, and that's where you need to be. I mean, it's a lot of drama, but that's besides the point. You're not there for the drama. You're there to build connections, make relationships, and get people on your team and get you some customers and get you some parties. Military women love them some parties, especially the stay-at-home moms. So trust me, if you're in the military, do that. If you're not in the military, find five topics or things that you're interested in. So, like, for me, I'll give you an example. 1, military wives. 2, I love sea glass hunting. So there's a sea glass hunting group right here. Hiking is huge out here. So I'm in a hiking page. I'm in a growing keiki. Keiki means children in Hawaiian. So I'm in like a keiki page. And then, like, I baby wear Jordy. And so there's like a baby wearing page. So I made sure that I got myself involved in these pages. And if you were to go to my Facebook page, you know dang well that I'm a Scentsy consultant, right? You know it. I mean, it's all over my page, whatever. So when I'm in these groups, I'm not there spamming everybody saying, oh my God, I'm a Scentsy consultant, buy from me, buy 5, get 1 free for $22 or $20.50 when there was a sale. Or I'm not saying, buy 5, get 1 free for $25. Like, no, that's not what you're there for. You're there because you share an interest with everybody else in this group. Number 2, you're there to make connections. You're going to relate to somebody on something in that group, and then that's when you start forming a relationship. You can say, hey, Jen, oh my God, I cannot believe you found a purple piece of sea glass. Oh my God, I'm so jealous. Which beach did you go to? Right? So now I'm making a one-on-one connection with Jen because she found this rare piece of sea glass, and I got to have it. Where did you get it, right? And so now that me and Jen have talked, now that we've kind of formed a relationship, I'm going to add Jen on Facebook because maybe we're going to go sea glass hunting one day. Well, Jen's going to come to my page and she's going to be like, oh, well, what is this? I mean, people assume that everybody knows what Scentsy is. They don't. Not everybody does. But if they do, most people love it. So either way, it's a win-win situation. So now you don't even have to mention anything to Jen about Scentsy, until the time is appropriate, because you don't want to start spamming people and come off as a spammy salesperson when you're supposed to be the share person and the hope dealer. So that's number 1. Step 1, find your interests, hobbies, likes that you like to do. I promise you there's going to be a group for it. There just is. That's just what it is on Facebook. And start building relationships with people that way. That's an easy way. If you are like anti-people and don't want to be around people and don't want to be out in public and do all that stuff, you better get your butt on Facebook and figure it out in Facebook groups. It's huge. That's how I built. Before I even moved to Hawaii, I had 3 people on my team that I had never even met before. I built a customer base. I was shipping orders to Hawaii with people that I've never even met before. And then when I got here, 3 months after being here, I ended up hitting director, and I knew nobody. So I don't do well when people tell me, I don't have anybody to sell to. I don't know anybody. I just moved. Trust me, you can work it out. Step number 2, get yourself into some vendor events or craft fairs. If you don't know how to do that, Google it in your area. I promise you it'll come up. If you still can't find anything after that, you better start hitting up your churches, your local community centers, the VFWs, like whatever you need to do. And then if you still at that point are just like, oh my God, I can't find anything, you better get creative and make one. I know you know a LuLaRoe person, a Mary Kay person, a Herbalife person. We all know people in direct sales. So you start hitting up them people, get an event center, rent it out, charge people to set up, and make your own. Put an ad in the newspaper and call it a day. I'm telling you, now is prime time. It's our busy season. People are going to be wanting gifts. We have all types of new products. So get creative and think about where and what kind of market you want to get into. The last thing is, everybody talks about this, I'm sure all of the other leaders on this forum have done it as well, as the 50-10 rule. Get your 50 samples made. If you're not enrolled in Scent of the Month and Warmer of the Month, do it, because this is an exclusive scent that is only available, to us 2 weeks before, so we can start making those samples and handing them out into the public. Start handing these things out to people. Your nail lady, your cashier, anytime you go out in public, you should be handing samples out to people. If somebody doesn't want a free sample, you don't need those kind of people in your life anyways. Like, who the hell doesn't want, ooh, I swore, oh my God, you guys, I'm sorry, I did that last time. Okay, anyways, but hand out samples, and if, like I said, if people don't want a sample, then you don't need them in your life. And that's pretty much it. So recap: 1, get into some groups, find some interest, and start building relationships. 2, get yourself into some vendor shows, craft shows, or make one. 3, make your 50 samples every single month, send them by the door, put them in the car. If you're in a hot location like me, make the felt samples, because then you don't have to worry about them melting on you, and hand them out and make sure they're out with your contact information on them by the end of the month. So that's all I have for you. Hope you guys didn't mind my potty mouth. And here comes Kristen Ingalls.
All right. Hi, girls. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about today is about Power Hour. Before we talk about that, though, I did want to go over a couple things from the chapters that I read that were just completely gold nuggets for me, and they are amazing. So I wanted to talk to you guys real quick about those before I went into Power Hour. One thing that I've found that is so important, and he talks about this a lot in the book, is having fun. So I think we focus so much and so hard on sales and recruiting and everything else, we kind of miss the purpose of Scentsy altogether. And it's that it's supposed to be our happy place. Like, Scentsy is something that you're supposed to love doing. It's not supposed to feel like work all the time. It's supposed to be something that you want to turn to. You want to turn to your Scentsy buddies. You want to turn to your Scentsy sisters and Scentsy brothers. And you want to turn to your business when you're frustrated or down or just feel overwhelmed with everything. So make sure you're continuing to have fun in it and that you're finding the joy in your journey. The other thing, too, I wanted to talk about is he was talking a lot about heavy recruiting and how many people you really need to recruit in order to find those rock stars. And so he was saying that 1 out of every 30 people is going to be a rock star, which means that we need to recruit more. In order to find those rock stars, you've got to recruit a lot of people. If you're only recruiting 1 a month, then it's going to take you a long time to find that one rock star. So you need to be recruiting a lot, okay? And also, another thing that I saw is, okay, he said give yourself a plan. So if you give yourself 2 months to succeed, that's not long enough. You need to really map out the next 2 years, because it's going to take 2 years to really build yourself a good business. And so if you get discouraged within the first 3 months and completely give up, you haven't given yourself enough time. So it's going to take a while, and don't get discouraged along the way, because that's what you have people there for. That's why we have all these Facebook groups and everything else, is to help you guys. Don't just give up after 3 months of trying, because you need to give yourself a good 2 years to really succeed in this business, okay? Another thing is always have a plan. I'm definitely a busy mom. I feel like I never stop moving. Literally, I run and I run and I run and I run. And if I didn't have a list of things to do, I would literally go out of my mind. So I make a list literally every day of what I need to do. If I don't get it done, that's fine. You just move it to the next day. You don't have to stress out that you're not getting it done. So just make sure you make a list. And what I do is something called Power Hour. And Power Hour is literally just something that you can do every day. You don't even have to have an hour. You can have 30 minutes. You can have 15 minutes. But this needs to be time that you choose out of your day. Say you work night shift like me, and you've got 30 minutes when you get up before you get in the shower. Those 30 minutes you need to devote to really doing income-producing activities. And I'm going to go over a couple income-producing activities and things you guys can do to really help work your business in those first 30 minutes when you wake up. And so say you work day shift. You're a day shift person or you're a stay-at-home mom. What you can do is the first 30 minutes right when you wake up, if you have to wake up 30 minutes earlier than the kids or 30 minutes earlier than you normally do to succeed in this business, that's what you need to do. You have to take time and you have to make set time to do these things, okay? And I know life happens, but if you can figure out a time to do it, that's what you need to do. Maybe it's when the kids go to bed. Maybe instead of watching Netflix that night, you work your business. You've got to put the things away that don't matter and take time for yourself and for your business. So a couple things you can do in your Power Hour to really help, and that they're income-producing activities. Number one, train your recruits. So when you recruit people, you need to make sure that you're training them right. I have a lot of people post on my team page and ask questions that I'm like, how do you not know the answers to these? And it's because they're not being trained correctly. So when you train someone, please make sure that you're teaching them what they need to know to succeed. Make sure you're teaching them, and I know Cincy gives us everything we need. They give us trainings. They teach us how to open up your first party on your workstation. They teach you how to do all this stuff, but you also need to be there for that person. Make sure that you're available to them if they need you, but also make sure that you're training them right. If they're local, I would definitely suggest either them coming to your house for 30 minutes or going and meeting them somewhere, have coffee, sit down, show them the workstation, show them what they need to do to succeed. Don't just recruit and then leave them high and dry and not do anything, because if you do that, number one, they're not going to respect you. Number two, they're not going to know what to do. And they're going to be posting crazy things on the team page, okay? And then it kind of, honestly, it makes you look bad. Because if somebody posts something crazy on my team page, I will straight up just say, who is your sponsor? Because I want to know who recruited this person and what's going on. Like, I want to get down to the nitty-gritty and find out what the deal is. So, number one, train your people right. Number two, and also, with that being said, you never know who your rock star is going to be. What if you never train that person and they could have been a baller and they could have gotten you to the top? You have no idea who these people are. You don't know. Number two, follow up with potential recruits. So I always have a list going of people I've spoken with, people that even I spoke with a year ago who said not right now. Make sure you're following up with those people, even people who said not right now, because it might be their time then. You don't know. So make sure you always have a list going. Always follow up with potential people, because you never know when's going to be the right time for them. Something else you can do, of course, is follow up with customers. Make sure that you are following up with people from the past and people that are customers. If you don't take care of them, someone else is going to. So something I always do is when somebody orders from my PWS, which I've gotten a lot of orders from my PWS lately just from doing online parties, and also because, you know, this new system that they have, people just order straight from your website. What I do is I send a scent circle in the mail to every single person who orders from my website. And you can get 6 scent circles with your with your perpetual party reward for half off for next to nothing, cheap as dirt. Put a stamp on there and send it in the mail. It's super simple. I always write a hand, written thank you note. And I've gotten so many other orders from those people just from doing that. It doesn't cost me hardly anything, but they know that I'm trying to reach out to them. So, Chase, please go. Go. Sorry, my child is here. Chase, bye. Okay. Another thing is to always look for more recruits. So that's something else you can be doing in that power hour, okay? Make sure that you're always thinking about new potential people and new people that you can find. And think outside your circle, too. Just like what Amber was just saying, I think that's so awesome. I've never thought about joining, like, groups about stuff that I'm interested in. That's a great idea, because you can find potential people in there for sure, people that are like-minded, people who are business savvy like you. And another thing that my awesome friend Chloe has been talking a lot to me about, and so has Jen, is to touch base with my leaders. So that's another thing you can do in that power hour to really, really focus on thinking about your leaders. Look at your numbers. See who your top salespeople were for the last month. See who has the highest GWV, TWV, and reach out to those people. If you have directors under you, which I don't think any of you would at this point, just kidding, but even your star consultants who are under you and your superstar people, you need to be reaching out to those people and find out what's going on. Find out, you know, what they're doing that month. If they want to sit down and have coffee, just trying to figure out what's going on with them, how you can help them, what their goals are, what their plans are. So reaching out to your leaders, because those people might be your rock stars. So make sure you're following up with them and always helping like navigate their process and navigating what they're doing and stuff like that too. So I think that's kind of it for my Power Hour stuff. I hope that was helpful. And the other thing I wanted to say too is that we all have things that we can give up. We all have things that we can give up so that we can have an extra 30 minutes a day to do this Power Hour. And if you want to be successful in this business, you have to give some things up. And I've really had to like kind of look at myself in the past couple of years, or 2 years that I've been doing this, and find out what I need to give up in order to succeed. And sometimes it's hard to give those things up because I know as moms and busy people, and just in life, we don't have a lot of time to begin with. But if you work this business as hard as you can for a couple years, then you're going to be golden. And you can do those things that you've always wanted to do because you'll have more free time. So give those things up now, and eventually it's going to be good in the long run. That's it. Okay, who's up?
My turn. Can everybody hear me okay? Thumbs up. Yay. Okay. I'm Jennifer Anderson. So we've been talking basically this week, just how to work your business. So very practical things you're hearing from these other leaders. What you can do to build a great business, to become a leader, to continue growing. And something that I'm really super passionate about is working your business exactly the same all 12 months of the year. So we all know fall and winter is Scentsy's busy season, right? We're all kind of on the brink of that going into it. It's really exciting. But I think that so this is what I teach my team. There are no slow months, okay? The only slow months that exist are the ones that you create for yourself. And so if you think, oh, it's January, or oh, it's the spring, or it's back to school month, people are busy, if you don't set up your months correctly beforehand and prepare for the months leading up to it, of course you're going to have a slow month because that's what you created for yourself. So I think it is super duper important to work your business exactly the same every single month of the year. So here's what that looks like for me, and here's why I do that, okay? I do that so that my paycheck is consistent throughout the entire year. It's nice to have really great paychecks in the fall, but I have this big surge of paychecks and then just kind of slowly wane for the rest of the year. I would much rather have consistent paychecks across the board. So here's what I do, and as a side note too, that's how you earn incentive trips, okay? You earn incentive trips by working your business 12 months out of the year, not just during incentive trip season. Because if you're working all year, the time that the incentive trip qualification rolls around, you will have fruit from working all of those other 6 months of the year. You will see the results of your labor. You'll be able to bank on those hosts. You'll be able to turn those hosts into recruits. You'll be able to turn those customers into team members. That's what happens when you work your business 12 months out of the year. So I'm actually going to kind of go bank off a lot of what Kristen Ingalls said. Those things that you can do every single month. Here's what that looks like for me. For me, I'm a 2,000 PRV a month girl because I like that 30% commission. I like that extra bonus in my paycheck, okay? In my opinion, why would you make 25%? You can make 30, okay? That's extra money just sitting there waiting for you. So in order to get 2,000 PRV a month, you need to have 8 to 10 bookings on your calendar. Whether that is home parties, Facebook parties, events, even just individual orders that you collect together, whatever that is, 8 to 10 events of some sort on your calendar every single month. Yes, you can do that in the summer. Yes, you can't do that during back to school. Yes, you can do that during January. And what's so cool is that Scentsy offers these really great promotions in each of those months to help you keep your business going during that time. Like Bring Back My Bar, double host rewards. We have these fun join incentives. These are all things that Scentsy does for your benefit. So they don't have to do them, but they help us grow our individual businesses by offering these things during that time. So I always try to take advantage of whatever Scentsy is offering and just use that to grow my business. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You don't need to come up with all these other plans. You don't need to, be fancy. Like, all you have to do is use what Scentsy gives us, okay? And those are the promotions that we have each and every month. A new buddy comes along, a new licensed product. I mean, any of those things you can use to build your business. So 8 to 10 bookings. Now, and here's where those bookings come from. They come from a great follow-up system. Just like Kristen Ingalls said, follow-up is honestly the number one thing you can do to increase your bottom line, increase your paycheck, increase your PRV right now. There's nothing you can do that's going to give you more income right now than follow-up. And especially as we go into the fall and winter season, it's getting busier, and my business is already busier. You need to have a follow-up system in place, ready, solidified. This is what you do. This is how you do it. And you need to be consistent about actually working your follow-up system. So in the comments on our Facebook page, under this call, I will post links to different follow-up systems that are on YouTube. You can watch all the videos and choose the one that works for you. You can make your own from the different ideas. Yours doesn't have to look like anyone else's, okay? But you do have to have something that works for you. You do have to find something that works, and you do have to commit to doing it. Follow-up is so important because the goal of follow-up is building relationships. And when you build relationships through follow-up, then you can recruit. Then you can get people to host parties. Then you can upsell someone because you know that they love black cats. That Superstition Nightlight just came out, so you're going to sell them that black cat nightlight and the tabletop base to go with it. If I didn't have a relationship with my customer, knowing that she's a crazy cat lady, I wouldn't have made that call and said, hey, look at this nightlight. This was made for you. She bought that and the tabletop base and 6 bars. And it's all because of my follow-up and because I have a relationship with her. So following up, you do that 12 months out of the year, no matter how busy or how slow you are, but following up produces 8 to 10 bookings, consistent recruiting, okay? I would say if you want to grow your business and you want to have a bomb.com paycheck, you should shoot for at least 2 recruits a month, at least. That would be something that is, in my opinion, that you can handle. I think you can train 2 recruits effectively each and every month. And if you are having 8 to 10 bookings a month, you should be able to produce 2 recruits from those 8 to 10 bookings. If you're just selling 500 PRV, you're probably not seeing enough people to get 2 recruits. That's why I say that 8 to 10 bookings is really important. And yes, I know you work full time. Yes, I know you have kids. Yes, I know you're in school. Yes, I know you have other responsibilities. They don't have to be 8 to 10 home parties. They can be Facebook parties. They can be basket parties. Facebook parties require 60 minutes of your time. Basket parties require less than that, okay? They can be individual orders that you put together. You can do a Saturday morning event at a church bazaar. You can do it. I promise you. Just like Kristen said, sacrifice and choose. That you want. You have to choose your business and the success of your business and your family's future over what's comfortable right in this moment, or over, fitting everything into your calendar. So sometimes you have to make those choices. So I want to encourage you, because what you do right now, if you really get in place with that follow-up system, it will make sure that you're spring and your January, February, March, or April, those look really good for you. Your paychecks can be consistent 12 months out of the year. That's how you build a great business. That's how you earn incentive trips. That's how you have consistent commission checks, and that's how you get promoted. You work your business exactly the same all 12 months out of the year. That's all I have to say today.
Okay, hopefully you guys can hear me. Y'all can't hear me? Okay, Jen just froze for a minute. Okay. So I'm going to close us out. Sorry I look a hot mess. I realize that. This is real life, though. So I'm going to talk about, everybody basically hit on all the key points of week 2. So week 1, we really went into like owning your awesome, like understanding yourself and your goals and what you want. So now really, as you've heard already, it's time to get to work. And there's a lot of different ways you can work your business. Everybody has different jobs, different things going on in life. But the most important thing that I'm going to share with you guys is doing a lot of small things every day in your business. I read a quote. I watch a lot of inspirational speakers and stuff like that on YouTube. And there's one motivational speaker. His name is Les Brown, and he's incredible. And I watch a lot of his stuff. And he says, success is built off of a lot of small things done really, really well. And that is really how I work a lot of my business, because before I have been doing Scentsy full time for about three and a half years, but I've been working full time. And so the time and effort that I have to do all the things I want to do with Scentsy just wasn't feasible because of the actual time. And so I'm going to give y'all a few examples of small things that you can do really well. And most of them everybody's already touched on. So power hours, like Kristen said, those are gold. Whenever you have time, like if you're in the bathroom, I think I've heard Kelly Ski say this before, like used to be in the bathroom at work and would like do some follow-up and stuff, like literally. When you have a little break here and there, that is when you work your business. That is when you're doing things that are income producing. And I think all of us agree that income producing is where it's at. Your time is precious. Your time is valued. And so you want to spend it to where it's going to help you grow the most in your business. Other things you can do, so income producing things first, always. I tend to find that multitasking is not better, even though I know we all do it and I'm guilty of it also. Whenever I tend to multitask and try and do a whole bunch of stuff, it makes me really flustered and it makes me have a lot of anxiety. So for example, like today I'm trying to pack. I leave tomorrow. I haven't packed. I have to close the party. This is my second leadership call of the day. And so like I have all these things going on and I should have like pre-planned a little better. So really thinking about whenever you're trying to focus on your Scentsy business, doing things that are simple, doing things like follow up, doing things like, getting those new customers, sharing, building relationships, those little things everybody has literally talked about tonight, doing those things first and not trying to multitask and go off for a minute and make, a flyer when you really need to be finishing that conversation with somebody to join your team. Or you can be FaceTiming them, even better, those kind of things whenever you get distracted. So making your list, like Kristen said, writing down the important things and even taking, the top few things and putting those at the top. That kind of stuff is really, really important. And that's really how I have worked my business up until now, that I'm going to be able to just solely do Scentsy. I've done a lot of small things really, really well. So whatever you're good at, and really that's not true. You don't have to be good at recruiting or sponsoring to do it. You just have to start doing it. This is a learn as you go type business. So, do some small things and don't feel like you have to do everything. I remember when I first joined, I was like, I want to do all these events and I want to do all this stuff. And I couldn't get events in my area because they were all taken. So I had to kind of reimagine what things can I do that's going to help me hit the PRV I need. That's going to help me reach new customers. That's going to help me, get people on my team. And so thinking about those small things you can do every day to fit it in with your schedule. Again, just like everybody said, earlier, if you want something bad enough, you're going to have to give up a few things. Like when you're peeing in the bathroom, having those conversations, waking up 30 minutes early to, do a few tasks that are income producing is really important. So that's pretty much all I had because all of y'all bosses covered everything. So this is week 2. So we have 2 weeks left. I can't believe it's gone by so fast. So we are going to have our weekly focus for this week will be to get your office and your calendar in order so that you can work super effective this fall. So nothing stresses me out worse than disorganization. Nothing. And if you see behind me, it looks disorganized, but that's only because over here I have stuff for an assistant that I hired laid out written instructions of what she needs to do Monday while I'm gone. So I come back and I'm not so stressed out because I have mail outs done, new labels ordered, just stuff done, and ready to go. Behind me, I have like a packaging station. I have basket parties up there. So your focus needs to be to get your calendar going. Have a Scentsy calendar. I do not put everything in my calendar. Like if I have an appointment or a block off time, I'll put that in there. But I try and keep my calendar full Scentsy, and I have mine color coded. Everybody does theirs different, but I do 3 different colors. I do green, blue, and orange. And that's kind of how I do like my team, my bookings, and my follow-ups and mail outs. So everything is just color coordinated, makes it super easy for me. As far as your office goes, you don't need to have a space like this to, organize your office. You can get some Tupperwares. And I'm sure that, I guess we could probably even post maybe some lives of our offices, you guys, this week if they want to see some. They can kind of see how we do ours. But, the main thing is like you want to have a space when you come in. It's ready to go. Your samples are made. You know where your stuff is to package. You know where your cards are. You know where everything is. So you can do those income producing things and you're not wasting time trying to like scrounge through everything. So that's our focus. And then we do have our Wax Slinger channel, which I think is so cool. That was Maggie's idea. I think it's awesome. I listen to it all the time. So if y'all want us to add any songs to it, like feel free to like put it on the page or let us know. Y'all may be able to add them yourself. I don't know how that works. I'm not like too good at Spotify, but that's all I have. Does anybody else have anything else? Anybody? Okay. All right. Well, we love you guys and we hope you have a great week, and we will see you live next week. Bye.